All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff. And here
Yeah.
we are, the day after Cinco de Mayo. I hope everybody's done celebrating Cinco de Mayo. The next big thing we got coming up was what? Mother's Day. Can't miss out on Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. You can't miss Mother's Day.
No, no, no. So
Yeah, I better not miss Mother's Day.
yeah, which is this weekend coming up,
Yeah,
May the
Sunday.
12th. Yeah,
Okay.
May the 12th. I did see a post out there that said,
Yeah.
"Hey, for Mother's Day, make sure your wife has the dishes done in the yard clean on the 11th, so she can spend some time on the 12th with the
So
family."
she can rest.
So she can rest.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
You-
Yeah.
I'm not agreeing with Mitch Thames right now. I
Let's
can
get
stay
it
out of that.
done. Get
I'm
all
staying
your
out of that.
chores. Get all your chores done.
Get all your chores done on the 11th, so you
on
can
the
spend the day with
11th.
the.
Or
Yep.
even Friday. Friday,
Yeah,
you got Friday
yeah,
and Saturday to get ready for
Yep.
Mother's Day.
Mother's
So
Day.
can
There you
have
go.
all.
Plenty of time, and I know Mitch's wife will be out there on a tractor.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, she'll be doing that.
I
All right.
know.
We got a lot of things we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to
do.
hit some news right now. Let's get this up there. There we go. All right. Flooding.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. Flooding in Texas turned deadly on Sunday as millions of people across the eastern part of the state continue to face overflowing rivers that can remain swollen for days. East Texas did see a brief pause from extreme weather on Saturday before more precipitation and thunderstorms returned on Sunday. Some of those storms knocked down trees near Lufkin Sunday morning, according to storm reports from the National Weather Service. There is some good news, however. River levels peaked Friday night along the east fork of the San Jacinto River, which was seeing the worst flooding and over in the past several days. All right, let's see. Let's see. Authorities in Johnson County, just south of Fort Worth, said that a boy was killed after he and two adults were swept away in floodwaters on Sunday morning. The adults survived in the ordeal, but Fox reported that the boy was identified as 4-year-old Lucas Warren of Burleson. So, this stuff is nasty.
Right.
Let's see. Well, I gotta move this over here. Let's remove this and put this there. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Also, hurricane season is just around the corner, starting in 2 weeks. The National Hurricane Center is predicting a very busy season as ocean temperatures at some spots are already hitting above the 80-degree mark. That, along with the El Nino season, has forecasters on their toes. All weather updates can be found on the website at gcor1.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And in the upcoming week, I believe next week, we're going to have someone on from the National Hurricane Center. And
Good.
we are going to have Andy Kirkland on as well. So
Can we ask Andy if he can just cancel hurricane season this year?
I can ask him.
Not have it.
Yeah, I can ask him, as I really can ask him. And last but not least, for this week, heat advisories may go into effect this week with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s to low 90s, but feel like temperatures will be close to around 100 degrees as the humidity builds from the Gulf. A slight chance of cooling showers are possible during the next 5 days, but the Gulf heat pump is just warming up. So get ready for the heat, guys. And this is all weather related stuff, which the weather's been crazy lately.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well,
I know
up north it's been Harvey like rain, correct?
Yes. Yeah, worse than Harvey. So over there, just east of Houston. Along that area over there on I-10 and stuff. Right near the line. They actually had more rain there than Harvey dumped. Yeah. Wow. So they're talking Harvey dumped around 18, 19 inches of rain in that area. Right. Some areas over there, they had 26 to 28 inches of rain. So they're opening up dams over there, which are making it rough. Lake Livingston, I know, is overly flooded. Up there. I've been up in that area. I know exactly where that dam is up there. And they open it up, and they have to. And they try to warn everybody along that path. But, man, down along the path, all the way down, that Lake Livingston and the river that runs along down there, just inundated with flooding, and it's going into high tides right now with when we have a northerly flow like we do. Right. The tides seem to get high, and as soon as they get high, it acts as a plunger for the rivers to empty into the ocean. So it just backs it up. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough. We're going to have a tough season. My fear is this: we always get this early rain and flooding, and then it's dry for
just shuts off
forever. Yeah. So hopefully, now that we're in an El Nino, that we'll have a little bit more moisture coming in. Unfortunately, the way they're talking about it is a lot of moisture coming in along the parts of Texas, into Louisiana, and along the Gulf Coast. So Andy and I are going to keep a good eye on this. There are a few things that we're going to keep an eye on at the end of May and early June as well. Good. So there's some rumors of stuff coming up late May and early June that we are definitely going to keep an eye on. It's a forecast that's way out there, but nothing is set in stone yet. If you hear somebody talk about more than 10 days, don't listen to it. It's not true. It's not true. So I could tell you it's going to snow in January 2nd of 10 years, or between now and 10 years from now. Well, maybe it will. There's always a 50% chance. So we're just going to keep an eye on this, because this is a lot of forecasters have a bad feeling about this season, only because the Atlantic Basin is already in the mid 80s. Right. It really never died down into the upper 60s, low 70s, where they said it was going to go. It stayed right in the upper 70s, the low 80s. Right. So there's already storms trying to form out there. The one thing we do have that a lot of people talk about is the Sahara dust. The Sahara dust is going to start making its move in a week or so again, more north. Right now it's going east to west. Yeah, and we're gonna keep an eye on that as well, because that tends to help kill hurricanes, the dust storms. So we'll keep an eye. We're gonna keep an eye on everything. We've been staying busy at it, watching models and that.
Quick, isn't it?
Yeah, and like I say, if you ever want to, the National Hurricane Center, stormy.com, all that's on our website. Please go to it at gcor1.com, Gulf Coast 1radio1.com. Just go there, check it out. And the National Weather Service Hurricane Center, everybody, we're on it. Andy, we stay on it.
Good. So, anyway. We need it. We need all the warnings and all the help we can get. I did notice the LCRA Lake Travis did rise about 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
Based on the range. We were talking last week about the dismal low. Yes. Inflows. At least we have some inflows.
Yeah.
Not anything near what those poor folks off of 59 and I-10 experienced. Last week.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
I can't imagine. I feel for them leaving their homes. Evacuating.
Yeah.
Channelview ISD, I saw this morning, they were closed again. Their school was closed again. So. Yeah, keep those folks in your prayers. It's difficult. I saw where several of them, their houses flooded.
Yeah, it's bad. There's some places that are 5 to 6 feet higher than they were during Harvey.
And I heard months and months and months worth of rain in a week.
Oh yeah, they were talking almost 8 months worth of rain in less than a week, in just 2-3 days. You know, so.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but we're going to keep an eye on it. So keep your fingers crossed. We'll see about the season. All right, Mitch.
Need all the help we can get.
Let's hit on our first topic tonight that you brought up, the Commissioner's Court. What's going on there? Tell us what's going on.
So the court talked about last Monday and before that, and the judge has been announcing the formation of a group that's going to, with the intent of issuing certificates of obligations. That's the county's version of going out and borrowing some money. They're going to borrow $10 million, pay it back over 40 years. They got a really good interest rate. And what they're going to do with that money is do a lot of improvements all over. Every precinct, every commissioner has a project down in Commissioner Esselbaum's area. I know he's going to utilize that money toward the Justice building in Matagorda. If you'll remember, we've talked about the fact that the Justice of the Peace, Suzanne Sullivan, does not have an office. They used to office in that already wore out, abandoned school building. And so they're going to build a real honest to goodness justice center, Justice of the Peace office there in the township of Matagorda. He also has some money earmarked for the Sergeant, I guess I'd call it community center. If you'll remember, the county bought the old VFW years ago, and they're going to have some money to remodel that. Commissioner Cook is going to redo, upgrade the seats in the civic center. Listen to me. I'm sorry. In the fairgrounds. So get rid of those 19, probably 50s, 60s wooden bleachers, and go in with some upgraded bleachers that will be able to utilize better that building. I think the commissioner, my mind just Bubba Frick. He's going to also do the Blessing Community Center, as well as do some work on some parks. And then Commissioner down in Palacios is going to use a lot of that money. They had a family donate 20 acres, and he's going to partner with the city and put in a bunch of ball fields. And so it's and then I think the judge has got a couple of issues as well, parking, some of those kinds of things here in town. So all 5 of our entities will get a little bit of money. Virtually, it won't have an issue with. It may have a penny issue with the tax rate, but it's. I think it's the right time to borrow this money to be able to finally get some projects done that have been lingering for basically years and years and years. I know they've been talking about when money's available, especially down at the VFW and Sergeant. That was probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. They bought that and just waiting for the money. And so certificates of obligations will be issued. There is a public hearing on the 24th of June at 9:30 in Commissioner's Court. If you want to learn more about it, or if you have a say, mark down 9:30 on the 24th of June this year, 2024, Commissioner's Court. They'll have a public hearing, but I think it's time that we move forward with some of these projects. If you'll remember, there's never a good time to borrow money. Our school districts, just about all, did bond issues and redid their buildings. Poor Van Vleck, those buildings had been from the 30s and 40s. And so Bay City has upgraded its schools. Palacios, Matagorda, Tidehaven, all of them have been remodeled, and it's time for some of these community centers and some of these commissioners to have some money available to get their projects, the capital projects, not the everyday projects, but the capital projects. And this is the way to do it: issue a certificate of obligation. So hats off to commissioners. They're utilizing debt in what I say is the right way. No debt is, there's a lot of people who say no debt is good debt. But I will tell you that the city utilizes these certificate of obligations all the time in the past to build. And so now the Commissioner's Court doing that as well. So hats off to our Commissioner's Court. They are really partnering with economic development, making sure that our taxable value total taxable value goes up every year. And I want to say thank you to the judge and commissioner's court on doing things the smart way, utilizing these certificates of obligation. So great job, guys. I look forward to visiting these new community centers and the new seats in the fairgrounds. Our Lions Club uses that. The Fair Association uses that facility a lot. And so we're real excited about the upgrades. I know Commissioner Shimmick, the Little League ball fields have been neglected quite a bit. They had a family that donated, again, 20 acres. And so his portion, Commissioner Shimmick's portion, is going to build some ball fields for our youth. And so hats off to each one of those groups. I know the judge is looking at parking. It's going to be a good thing, and we'll move forward, Jeff. So
that's good. Good.
Keep up. But if you're interested, mark down the 24th day of June for the public clearing.
There you go. Hey, just a quick question. I was thinking about this one yesterday. What is the expected time frame on the bridge closure down there on 521 for the Trespass Bridge?
So depending on the weather, of course, that has a lot to do with it. They were looking at the end of this year. I think they said late fall. I'd probably say early winter. Late fall, early winter is what the press release that we got from TxDOT said.
Okay.
But I will remind you that they accepted picked a contractor for the Colorado River Bridge replacement on 35, just west of town here, just west of the Civic Center. They're going to create, how there's 4 lanes, right. 2 lanes going east, 2 lanes going west. Right. They're going to move all the traffic, make it single lane on one side of the bridge, tear that. And I don't remember if they're starting on the westbound or the eastbound side, but they're going to move everybody over to the other, tear that bridge down and redo it. Right. Then put all the 2-lane traffic on the new bridge, tear the old bridge down and replace it. So
was the bridge in that bad of a shape?
It's run its course, Jeff. Really? It really has. When you drive underneath there and look, it's run its course. It's time. You know, they did the bridge over the Colorado River on 521.
Yeah.
They're doing the bridge now over Trespass on 521.
Right.
And now the next major bridge in our county is of course 35. Now they're not doing those other bridges further west, closer to the country club and the birding and nature center. Those are going to be fine. This is just the span over the Colorado.
Right. Okay.
And
because I know we're going to start getting a lot of big trucks coming down 521 more. And I know some of those smaller bridges. Well, that smaller bridge wasn't probably set up for it,
it's taken its toll.
Yeah.
They've redone the approaches several times.
Yeah.
And it's just time. It's each bridge has a lifespan. And we're getting to it now. That project's going to take quite a while. I mean, we're going to be quote unquote, I guess if you say inconvenienced by moving over on to instead of enjoying 4 lanes, we're going to be down to 2 lanes crossing the river.
Right.
But I congratulate TxDOT for being proactive and not waiting till something falls and and we have a disaster. So being proactive, they're certainly the experts at this. And everybody, I imagine there's going to be those complainers and Facebook warriors that knows all about bridge building.
Yep. Facebook construction workers, I call them.
Yeah. But that's coming up. We need to be prepared. And, I would say, I don't know how much I'm not inconvenienced a lot. I did have 2 meetings on Thursday. One was in Palacios. Thursday at 5, and then I had a 6:30 meeting in Sargent, and it
Right.
would have been very convenient if I'd have just been able to just jump across that 521 bridge at Trespalashes. But I had to, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, there it is an inconvenience that I had to drive back through Bay City to get back to Sargent. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna second guess them. I'm not gonna badmouth them. I much rather would have them take the bridge out of operation, replace it before something bad happens.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I get it, and I'm going to be inconvenienced. I go that way, a lot. You go to the country club, Birding and Nature Center.
What's the scariest bridge you ever drove across?
I would say the I-10 bridge in Lake Charles.
Yes. We're both brains. That is the scariest.
Built when? Back in the 40s?
1945. And that's where the president went and did his speech about the infrastructure and all that stuff at that bridge,
Yeah.
And so far, I haven't seen anybody mess around with it, but
yeah, no, that man, I would. In fact, a lot of people now use that loop 210 around just so they don't get on that bridge.
Yeah, that bridge is.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, and I'll say in Baton Rouge, the I-10 bridge over now, that one's in not bad shape, but
they recently redid a lot of that one. They did a lot of that one repairs and stuff like that. Now the one on 90 north of that bridge, that one's a little rough.
Okay,
that one's a little where the train trussels go across next to that's great.
Well, yeah, and Carolyn and I had a lot of time to kill. One time we were going to Lake Charles, and we went south through Port Arthur.
Yep.
And I don't remember what that bridge is, but it's way up and down.
Oh yeah,
across the Sabine River.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So,
but there's one down in Donaldsonville too, in Louisiana.
Okay.
It's called the Sunshine Bridge.
Ah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking
about. Man, that one's like this, straight up.
Yeah. I think that was it.
You're going to Nassau, going over the Mississippi River Bridge, coming back down over the other side. Wow.
I think we did that one time.
And I know if I know Cajun people, and I know how they work. And I've watched Clint Hewitt work, and if he did anything with that bridge, I'm never driving on it again. I'm just saying.
Just get it close, right?
Just get woo.
It's close.
Yeah, look at that bridge there. That's all right. Now that's perfect. All right, good. Looks like a bridge. Just go. Oh my God. Yeah, there's some scary bridges over there, boy. Oh, and when I grew up in Pennsylvania, there's still wooden covered bridges that are still up. Tons of them. Pennsylvania. Oh yeah, the covered bridges.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a couple. You take some side roads off the main roads, like the Trexler Park Zoo has like 2 or 3 wooden bridges down there. They were built in 1800s, late 1800s.
For horse and buggy, right?
Yeah, but man, they beefed them up. Well, you could drive that truck across there. They still standing. It was something else I was gonna bring up about getting done. I can't remember what. Oh. No, forget it. I know this was something I was going to talk to you off the air about.
Oh, okay.
I'll worry about it later. It's something very funny that I saw in our city, and I certainly hope that our city workers didn't do it. That's all.
Okay. Good.
And maybe some of you know what I'm talking about, but you can guess. Well, no, I can say it. Recently, there was a street that had yellow lines put on it. And that street would be 6th Street.
Okay.
Have you driven down that street?
Yeah. Where 6th and what?
Just pretty much all of 6th. They put
I'm on it all the time. I haven't noticed.
All right. Just look at the yellow lines.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. They're like this. Okay.
Okay.
They're like this, and then they go like this.
Oh man, I think I heard somebody talk about that.
Yeah.
If I
It was
remember right, they were talking that they were just learning how to use the machine,
machine.
and that it would get
It was-
better if it was the same conversation.
yeah, I could see the crew out there doing that. And some guy yelling every 10 seconds, no, it's this way.
Turn to the left. Turn to the left.
Turn to the left. No, too far.
Go back one to the right.
Oh, man.
Kind of like my Carolyn helping me drive.
Probably, yeah. It's just, probably.
She's the navigator.
I get that too. That's why I got married.
Turn. You should have turned back there half a block ago.
Yeah. And they tell you right at the turn.
Yeah, at the turn.
Hey, this is where we turn here.
Yeah.
I know. It was funny. It was just funny. I saw it and I didn't know if you saw it or not.
No, I guess I'll pay more attention.
Yeah, it's okay. Just check it out. It's just you'll get a chuckle out of it. I wasn't mad at it or anything. I'm like, okay, well, those guys are working. And I said to Lydia, and she looked at me and goes, "Oh my God, those lines! Something's wrong with them." And I looked, and they get close, and they go far apart.
It may have been close to happy hour too.
Oh, it probably was. It was sick. They were celebrating Cinco de Mayo a little early when they were putting down the sheet. It was just funny. So hats off to those guys using the new machine.
Yeah,
it's out there. You know, just
you got to practice somewhere, right?
Yeah, practice on 6th Street. What the heck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So the next subject we got is what? What you want to hit on?
So let's hit on the election results.
Yeah. Oh God, I saw that.
Of.
The lack of 7% voting turnout. 7%.
So for the Bay City ISD trustee 6 position, guys, and you had 281 people voted. 37 voted. 58 voted absentee. 165 early voted. And now the polls were open 7 to 7. You ready? 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., May the 4th, and 58 people voted. 58 people.
Sad.
I don't know. I mean, that's just a waste of our money, our taxpayer money. I know you got to have elections. I'm not saying that. 281. Now, let me give you the results. Laura Robichaud, she got 81% of the vote, 81.49 with 229. Esau Rodriguez had 52 votes for 18%. But I guess what I'm saying is we ran early voting for a week and a half. We ran 12 hours of election day and for 281 people to go vote. And I don't know. I'm disappointed. Jill Westmoreland was not opposed. She ended up with 238 votes over votes. So that was 44 votes undervoted. Over in Palacios ISD position 1, Carl Flippe, he won with 62% of the vote. So here's the deal. So Palacios ISD, and I know they had a mayor's race as well in Palacios, but Palacios turned out 646 people voting. Bay City ISD turned out 281.
Yeah.
I just think that was ridiculous. Karen Bobble, she won. There was 3 people running for that race, 270. 41.73% of the vote. There was a mayor change in Palacios. Incumbent Jim Gardner was defeated by newcomer Rick Sink. There was 512 votes in the city of Palacios. Rick got 67% of the vote. There was another contested race for council member. Rosalind Zamora won that with 50.72%. Troy Lewis defeated Michael Dobson with 63%. And let's see. And I didn't have chance. Right here. Caney Creek Municipal Utility Director down in Sargent. They elected their individual. There was 161 people voted in Sargent. and the Daryl Blue Morris looks like he won that race.
Yeah.
Here's a funny one, Jeff. I say funny. The Bowling ISD Proposition A, the bond issue, they had 14 people vote.
Jeez.
And it lost. They lost 9-5.
Huh.
9-5. Now, you tell me your vote doesn't count. I was going to bring up something here real quick. I was going to tell you that well, a lot of people say their vote doesn't count. The council members race in Palacios, Raylyn Samora, she won by 7 votes. So,
Right.
you know, so when you talk about, my vote doesn't count. Well, if 8 people went and voted for Mr. Glenn, he'd ended up winning. So election results. My point, other than letting you know who won, my point is, guys, we can do better than that. I know we didn't have a municipal race in the city, but everybody wants to complain about your school board and how you're dealing with kids, and 281 of you have an opinion and came out and voted. I know I did. I know Carolyn did. But anyway, I'm just saying 281 out of, I don't know what the registered voters in Matagorda County is 10,000. So if you just say that a third, I mean, I would imagine it's got to be in the 2,000, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, and 281 turned out. We can do better than that, guys. But anyway, and that's to bring up the fact that we do have a runoff for the Republican state reps race.
Yep.
I can predict it's going to be a pitiful turnout. Early voting starts the 20th. There's only 4 days of early voting.
Yeah.
The 20th through the 24th. Those of us that vote, there'll be 2 election places. You'll have the Service Center and the Navigation District in Palacios. I'm going to vote early. I haven't checked our schedules yet to see if we're going to vote. We like to vote on the first day, on Monday. I don't know what our schedules look like.
And that's between Jeff
Bonite and AJ Louderback.
Right.
Republican runoff. I encourage you to turn out and vote. State Rep District 30. Both of them deserve your attention. They both are working extremely hard. They're both been in Matagorda quite a bit campaigning.
Yeah.
They both promised me that they will make sure and represent Matagorda County and make sure that our needs are met. House District 30 is 7 counties. Rural, smaller counties, probably Victoria County is the largest. Lavaca County, Jackson, Matagorda, Calhoun. I don't remember what the other ones are, but mostly rural, coastal counties.
Right.
And so whichever way you decide to vote, let's go vote. Let's turn out. Let's be strong. These 2 gentlemen have spent an enormous amount of money. They've spent an enormous amount of time. I was talking to AJ Friday morning, and he was at an event till 10:30. He got home at 10:30 Thursday night and was back at First Friday at 6:30. And so they're crisscrossing the counties. They're attending everything they can, visiting with as many people as they can. Whichever way you decide to go. I thought this is interesting. You got the Texas governor endorsed Jeff Bonite. You've got the lieutenant governor and the attorney general have endorsed AJ Louderback.
Right.
AJ does have a tie to Matagorda. His brother-in-law is Charles Brookhauser, formerly at First State Bank. I say formerly because I think he's trying to retire.
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing a very good job of it, but he's trying to retire. But both of them are. Jeff was had to resign as mayor of Victoria to run. AJ Louderback was sheriff for Jackson County for years and years and years and years. And I know both of them. I will tell you the conversations I've been having with my friends is either way we win. They're two very capable, very powerful in their own way, gentlemen. And whichever way we go, Jeannie Morrison has done a tremendous job for us. I don't want to forget Jeannie Morris. She did not seek re-election. She's retiring after 20-something years in the House.
Right.
It's time. She has certainly earned the ability to retire and enjoy herself. But big times ahead for Matagorda County. They all understand our economic development growth.
Right.
But they both speak very clearly to our growth and the things that a county needs from the state when it's growing.
Right.
And so I'm voting on. I think Carolyn and I are going to vote. We're definitely going to vote early. The 28th is on a Tuesday, and you never know what's going to happen on a Tuesday. But if I understand right, and Stephanie Wirtz will correct me, that's our county clerk. Early voting is the 20th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then of May. Yes.
Okay.
20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and then election day is Tuesday, the 28th of May. Now, here's the weird thing. Tuesday, the 28th, that's the day after a holiday. Monday, the 27th, is Memorial Day.
All right.
So there you go. So will you remember to vote after a holiday? You may. If you're traditionally a voting day person, I know in the past, absentee, you had to prove you weren't going to be in the county or prove you couldn't vote. Now absentee is an early voting. It's easy. There's no requirements on it.
Right.
If you feel better, get a mailing ballot. You mail the Stephanie a request, and she'll mail you out a ballot, and you can mail it back. But let's get out there and early vote. 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday, right there at the Service Center here in Bay City, a navigation district in Palacios. And I encourage us all to get out. I'd love to hit, 20%. All of Matagorda County votes. There's not a precinct that doesn't. And so 10,000 registered voters in Matagorda County. Well, I'd love to get 5,000 people out.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about it and remind you. Go ahead and put it on your calendar. 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday. Let's get out there and vote. This is for the Republican primary. Now, if you voted in the Democratic primary, which I don't think there was a lot of people did, then you're not eligible to vote. You either didn't vote in the election before, you didn't vote, or you voted in the Republican primary. If you did either one of those, you're eligible to vote.
Right.
If you voted in the Democratic primary, you are not allowed to vote. So that will knock a couple of our registered voters, but it's not going to knock many down.
Right. Right.
So I don't have the number of votes, but it's important. Let's get out there.
Yeah, this voting thing is like crazy anymore with people not voting, and or too many times voting. Just like you said before, there's got so many times.
I hate it. They dumped the senatorial election for Senator Whitmire, Mayor Whitmire's spot. They put it on the May 3rd ballot. I don't know why we couldn't have had our Republican primary. I'm sure it's rules. I get it, rules.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
change the freaking rules. And if there is a runoff in either the Republican or the Democratic primaries, let's put it on May 3rd.
Right.
And put it on, stack it on with the municipal and the ISD elections.
Right.
I just don't think this is. I just don't think this is the best use of our time. Now, there's a lot of people talking about voting on a day and making it a national holiday. I don't know if I go that far, but because a lot of people would end up going out of town if you make it a holiday.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, in talking about Senate, they two Democratic candidates filed for that, and Molly, I can't remember her last name, she won. She beat out the state rep there in Houston for former Senator Whitmire's position. And here's a funny thing, Jeff. Set your calendar. The lieutenant governor came out with his interim charges. And what does that mean? This is the interim. We don't have a session this year. We have session in odd number of years. So in 2024, we do not have a session. The legislature meets every 2 years in odd number of years. So they'll meet in 2025.
Right.
But we have interim charges, and the lieutenant governor and the speaker all come up with the topics that they want the legislators to concentrate on, primarily for the next session. And I wanted to let you know that the Senate is already starting to meet their interim committee meeting. So if you're interested in Health and Human Services Committee, Veteran Affairs Committee, Water, Agricultural, and Rural Affairs, which is what I pay a lot of attention to in local government, I just want you to know those meetings start next week. Health and Human Services starts May 14th at 10 o'clock. Veterans Affairs is the 15th. And Water, Agricultural, and Rural Affairs is the 15th at 10 o'clock. And local government meets on the 15th at 1 o'clock. So your government and work, if you want to know what they're discussing, what they're talking about, the state and the House, they've already announced a brand new committee. And I thought this was interesting. I really did. This is it's going to be Dave Phelan has announced a House Select Committee on Artificial Intelligence and Emerging Technologies. And the chair of that, the committee chair, is going to be 51-year-old lawmaker Caparoni. Caparoni is his name. But it's going to be the House Select Committee on Artificial Intelligence. So the state is starting to meet, and if you're and you don't have to go to Austin these days. You can get online and watch those committee meetings on the internet. It's very, very, very easy. And I keep it on the background. I keep it in the background running, and just when it piques my interest, I'll turn around and watch it. But it's interesting. And before long, I promise you, budget are going to start kicking up. There'll be a lot of hearings on next year's state budget. So if you're interested in those kinds of things, jump on board with me.
And by the way, I better say hi to this person, or this person gets mad. He gets mad every week. We don't say hi to him.
Let me guess.
Yeah, go ahead. Guess.
MM.
God, you're so good at this. You are. Mr. Eminem himself, the oldest living Matagordian at 163 years old, Mike Mariner.
Eminem. I thought we'd hear more from him when we talked about the drainage last week. We didn't hear a lot about him.
No, he kept very quiet. He's very quiet lately. I don't know. Maybe it's because he knows I know where he lives now, and I will go over there and throw him in the drain.
I know where he lives.
Yeah.
I know where his former workshop is, or maybe current workshop.
His current workshop.
He still may tinker back there with various things.
Oh, he does. There's a lot of tinkering going on.
A lot
with
of
Mike.
things.
In fact, that's what his little name is, Tinkerbell. Gonna call him Tinkerbell. I'm waiting for a comment to come
Well,
flying up here.
welcome, Mike. Yeah,
Hey, Mike.
glad to have you.
Yeah. Uh, is there anything going on in Bay City that we should know about? In Bay City alone that we should know about, or any other other projects or something that's going on that
Well,
you know that what?
a lot of things in the works. We talk about the fact that the city has purchased the old Kmart?
No, and that's one thing we wanted to bring up because
Okay.
it was big in the news this past week that the city finally came to a conclusion. They bought the building for less than the value itself. I read that, and I talked to a couple of the officers as well about the building. Everybody seems to be happy, but it's going to be a criminal building. Not just the police department. There's other things going in there as well.
Right. They're moving municipal court. Everything will be all in one thing. I don't know. I haven't heard whether, they had a little holding cell at one time in the city building. And I was not handcuffed to it. That is a vicious rumor.
Mm-hmm.
I did sit on it one time, but I was invited to sit. And
it's your story. It's your story, Mitch. You can tell it however you want to tell it.
But they did have a little, what I will call a holding spot. Until they could transport somebody over to the jail. I haven't heard anything about whether they're going to put any holding cells. I think they'll still use the county facility.
Right.
If you'll remember the Palacios, all the intake is at the sheriff's office. I don't know if there'll be one or two, but my guess is they'll continue with that. When I tell you, Jeff, that the officers, the detectives, the storage in the old jail, in the old police department facility that they're currently in, when I tell you they're on top of each other, that is not a lie, man.
No, they are.
Stacked.
The offices are small.
Horrible.
It's just it's very, very small.
Well, and the other thing that a lot of people don't think about is the evidence locker. You've got to have chain of command and chain of custody, and you've got to know where everything is, and you've got to store it in a proper location.
Right.
And it's literally in a closet nowadays. And so I think it's time. I was interesting to hear. I'd like to hear more. I'll throw this out to the powers that be. I know for a fact that the fire department is not interested at all in moving from their current location next to Liberty Park. But I will throw a question out there because, and I don't like Jeff. I haven't asked anybody this. This is the first time mentioning it on this program. So breaking news. I would like to discuss with some of the fire department folks, or at least just discuss, talk, throw a brainstorm out there. Because of the railroad situation, I wonder, would there be a location to house a fire truck or two in the public, in that facility? Because of the rails. If something God forbid happened and a rail derailed and you cut and it cut the city off, would it make sense to not move the fire station?
No, it'd be called a substation.
An additional spot.
The thing is with that, okay, it can be very easily be done. The problem is we got to make sure that the people that are called to the fire are not stuck on the same side.
That's a good point.
So we got to make sure that, you would have to make sure that there's somebody capable of being able to drive the truck.
Yeah.
Good
point.
And I could see where it could be, it could be done.
Well, the thing I like about it, and Jessica Russell, the community development executive director, had a great point, which I just love.
Yeah,
and it's also revitalization for that area as well.
yeah,
I've heard it at times, folks that demise the fact that they feel like they're in the wrong part of town or a neglected part of town, even though the couple of really nice subdivisions are over there as well.
yeah.
Bay Ridge, not Baywatch, Baywood subdivision. Some pretty nice homes there.
Yeah.
But right there at WCJC, they've done a lot of work and going in with another, that's where the trades are going to go. And so I like the fact that the public safety facility is going to be another revitalization part of Bay City.
Yeah.
On I've heard people, the South Side. And so I think that's a good thing. But I did wonder about a fire truck or an apparatus or something being down there.
I don't think it would be bad either for a police substation to go over towards Schulman's or Walmart or over that way as well. We did it in Allentown, and we actually started the substations when I became a police officer there back in '99.
Okay.
So actually, I'm sorry, 89. 1989, 99. I was doing something else.
Yeah.
1989 to 1991. They started taking some of these older row homes in different communities and stuff. They bought them very inexpensively, $5,000, $6,000 or whatever.
Wow.
They had 3 floors, so they had the secretary who could work upstairs, and 2 police officers, 3 police. They were just check-in points for them to be in that area, so they would work out of there. And it worked out very well. It cut down crime quite a bit when those substations moved into areas that were a little sluggish, and the calls were able to be get to quicker, things like that. But the only problem we have there is the lack of police officers that we have because of pay.
Wow.
I did talk to somebody, and I wanted to bring this up too. I talked to a former police officer of here, and I did not know that he wasn't here anymore. I think he was one of the better police officers that we had here in town.
Yeah.
And I did not know that he had left and moved out of town, but he went to a smaller community and makes 1.5 times more than what he did here.
Man.
And we're going to continue to keep having this problem. We're sending, I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, the police department sends people to Wharton to get their police training and stuff. It gets paid for and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The guys come down here sort of as a training ground to get their feet wet, and after they have a year,
kind of like a scholarship, scholarship,
working scholarship. So they get their feet wet 1 or 2 years, and boom, they're gone. Into bigger paying places. Right. Some of the school ISDs are paying more than city do. Just unbelievable. And I understand that with the way the world is today, and having a whole huge police department on a school campus is needed, or an ISD.
Yeah.
But to put in these little substations and things like that, they do help. They do work. It was a proven fact to where I came from. Philadelphia does it. Some of the bigger cities have them all over the place.
Yeah.
But there are some smaller cities or mid-sized cities like Bay City that, if they had one substation. Now that you're moving away sort of from the center of town, you're on South 60, and to be set a substation up somewhere is, could work. So, but anyway, that's one thing. And I got into an argument with somebody last week about,
you argue? No.
Me? Oh yeah. I'm good at it.
Ask Lydia. No, Lydia, tell us the truth, Lydia.
Don't start. You sound like my preacher now. and he was just here harassing me a couple minutes ago. And I got to make an announcement about that as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, geez, down through. Oh yeah, arguing about the pay.
I know.
for these people, you know, it's gonna start getting better. It has nowhere else to go but up. It can't go down. I mean, we're at the baseball's bottom of pay scale for city workers and for
county too, city,
county workers. Bad, just
I'm telling
bad.
you, if we don't address it, Jeff, we're going to wake up one day and we're going to be bad. We're going to be in bad shape. When you call 911, and they tell you they don't have an officer to send you, now would you want a little bit more money?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not only reflecting on that, it's also reflecting on the service industry as well. It reflects on a lot of different things.
It does,
and you can see it. You know, it's people tend to care more when things are booming and buzzing,
right?
You know, and right now we're at a stalemate. We're at, you know, with a lot of things. Yes, the city and the county are doing a lot of things to get to where they need to be. It's going to take some time. It's not snap your fingers and get it done.
And we can't afford, you know, all this infrastructure that's going in on these 5 new subdivisions. Guys, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars, and
possible future apartment complex too. Correct?
Yeah, we've got that going in. The annexation is on the city council agenda over near behind the hospital. There's an individual that's interested in in an apartment complex that currently is not in the city limits, which means it's not being covered by water, wastewater, but it's on the agenda for the city council to voluntarily annex, not the bad kind of annex.
Yeah,
voluntarily annex that land so that the apartment owner can put in a brand new apartment complex. We need in multifamily.
Yeah.
We need high-end multifamily. We haven't had a new apartment since the apartment over there behind WCJC in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah.
That was the last time we had an apartment complex right behind, next to where the new Lenny Roberts, behind WCJC and the Center for Energy Development. That is the latest apartment complex that has been put in. Jeff, you know that many of our apartment complexes were put in the early 80s, late 70s. They've been remodeled, but they need some love.
Yeah.
And so I think and what is proven is once we get competition in here,
yes,
then everybody starts upping your game. Do you realize, Jeff, that once Chick-fil-A announced, we've had Whataburger completely remodeled, we've had Jack in the Box completely remodeled, we've had one of the Dairy Queens completely remodeled. And I personally don't think those would have happened without a Chick-fil-A coming in.
Right.
And other fast food establishments have kind of upped their game just a little bit.
And are coming back because of Chick-fil-A being here. Yeah.
I did hear that a report real quick on Popeyes. I don't want to miss your special announcement for Wednesday. But I did. Popeyes has made they did submit their drainage to the drainage committee, drainage district. The drainage district, if I understand, gave them some suggestions, and we've not heard back from Popeyes after that exchange. So they may be working on other Popeyes in other areas. Churches, looks like it's going really, really well.
Yeah.
If you remember, all the churches closed down and then reorganized under the Churches Chicken of Texas, or Texas Churches Chicken.
Churches of Texas.
So Churches of Texas, that's different. That's different than the former churches.
Yeah.
Although it's different, but it'll still be the same churches. It's just reorganization, financing, investors, that kind of thing. So
rebranding,
exactly. Yeah. That's it. So a lot going on, a lot of new things, apartments. If you'll go by 16th Street, you'll see a lot of houses going up. Drive by there. That's right there by the girls softball field and the Little League boys field.
Yeah.
There's already houses going up there. And then you'll see some houses going up in Russell Ranch pretty quick.
Right.
I've been in talks with Bold Fox. That's the Sand Hill subdivision, and they are changing some of their drainage, but they'll be going strong here before long. And so I think you're going to see there's a lot of new retail. We have announced the Marshalls coming to Bay City. That's a clothing department store. So a lot of positive things. I will tell you, Jessica is extremely busy talking to retail. There are franchises that are reaching out to us in a positive way. I'm not at liberty to talk about who, but I think you're going to be very impressed with the locations they're looking at, and the ability to enhance our entire city. So a lot of great stuff going on. But tell us something about, let's see, there was one other thing I was going to get before you did yours.
That's right. Go ahead.
No, we did. That's right. I wanted to talk about, there's the launch tonight at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
They're launching 2 NASA astronauts into space. I'm going to watch that if I don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
But annexation, just an awful lot going on. Jeff, tell me something fun about Wednesday night.
All right. So Wednesday nights, we're going to start. John and I were just talking about it a little bit ago. We're going to start. A lot of folks, they do Bible studies and things like this, but we're going to talk about Christianity on Wednesday nights. We're going to have a little fun with it. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things like break open a beer and sit down. We're going to talk about God. One of those. Things. So we're gonna talk about Christianity, where it's gone wrong. We're going to talk about the things going on in Jerusalem a little bit, and we're going to break it down so people understand it a little bit better, why things are the way they are. John DeWitt, my pastor from Word of Life Church, is going to. I'm going to host it. He's the main guy. He's the main frame. So we're going to talk about it. John and I always have fun when we're together, cutting up and doing this and that. But we also want people to be educated on, I think the world is losing a little bit of faith, and we got to try to see what we can do to bring it back and, bring back faith. People understand what Christianity is all about, and what it stands for. And things like this. And, I'm never a religious guy, John is a pastor, but a down to earth dude. He'll explain it. We got a couple guys like that. Lane Purdue is one, everybody knows about Crazy Lane. Lane's, I've talked to him many times. Yeah. But it's time to understand a little better what's going on. Have a little bit more faith in yourself, have a little bit more faith in our country, our community, and we're going to be talking a lot about that. So it's a Bible study wrapped up into everything. Just a little Christian information, and we'll be doing that. Is that going to start? I think we're going to start that I think we're starting at the same time. I think 7:00. Okay. I believe. Right. So it'll be an hour program, and then we're going to have different people on every week, 5, 6 of them at a time. Yeah, we're going to have different people on, and we'll be talking, we're just talking to everybody. I look forward to that. Yeah, it's going to be great. Set up the same way. It's we're going to set it up on a YouTube channel. We're going to do it on here. Yeah. So we'll have another channel, but also the Word of Life Church I'm building their own website. Okay. So they got a lot of stuff going on down here. The Word of Life Church. The Word of Life Church is down on it's 88 what street is it? Right in Wadsworth, 88 hang on, it's not Palm, 88. I always think of the casino. When I'm thinking, I don't know. Yeah, that's Lydia Casino. Yeah, it's Church and Casino. It's a casino church, and no,
with what slot is it? Machines, 8-liners.
Yeah, 8-liners. You got 8-liners going on. Yeah, so slot machines.
So when you make your offerings, you just put it into the slot machines.
Yeah, that's it.
I got it.
Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you find it? Look, but anyway,
That
we're going to pull it up. It's a very small little community church. Pastor Melly is he's a great dude. If you don't know Pastor Melvin down there, I think he's related to everybody in Matagorda County.
I got it.
But great stories that man tells, and just fun. It's a fun time.
Sure.
At church. And man, I'm trying to think of the name of the road that it turns off of. It. I know it's 88 something, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, we're going to do a lot of things like that. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but we haven't had any glitches tonight in the show. That's because I am running on the new internet.
All right.
We're still running on the old computer. Next week we'll have the new computer on.
Okay.
And at about 9:00 tonight, the radio station was off for a little while we didn't have this. The radio station will be back up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for you to go to. So there's a lot we're doing in between fixing lawnmowers and doing radio shows and websites and all kinds of other stuff. We're trying to do a lot of stuff, just trying to cover the community.
Yes.
And get people understanding what's going on, who, what, where, why, when, and how. All of them, all at one time. And
as a customer of L&J, a small engine, I appreciate what you're doing for my wife.
No problem. But just a few minutes ago, the word came in: the tractor did start on fire, so she's gonna have to get herself a new one.
Oh no, I got insurance. We got insurance, right?
Well, yeah, I think so. I don't. Maybe you do. I don't.
I got insurance.
No, we were toasting marshmallows over it. It works very well. Works very well as a toaster. But anyway, we're very busy at the shop. We're blessed to have all the people that we have dropping by and coming by. Yes. I want to remind everybody also next week we're planning on having Andy Kirkland on along with the guys from NOAA Weather and the Hurricane Center. So we can get up to date on really what's going to be going on this season and why are we predicting such a bad season this year. So we're gonna keep an eye on it.
Well, you mind if we get Amanda on for 10 minutes?
No, that's fine.
Okay, I'll ask.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Andy's not around tonight. He already called me and told me he wasn't watching, but he had something to do with the church.
I think he went to a recital, right?
Something.
Yeah, I saw him on Facebook. Real quick, he said he was been out because he was at a recital with his granddaughter.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah. He was just talking to me a little bit ago too before the show. But anyway, we got a lot of things going on, and we want to keep everybody informed. We want to keep everybody safe. If you see people posting stuff like, "Oh, there's a hurricane coming and June 1st," there's no way they would know. So please stop. Andy and I were just talking about this. There's no way to know that far out. Like I said, you can predict a snowstorm in a week or two, and it just you never know. So
wasn't it that Johnny Carson bit where he had the mind reader?
Karnak.
Karnak. You remember?
Karnak.
So let me see if I can predict a hurricane. It's not coming, Jeff. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Can't do it. Okay.
Can't do it.
You tried. It was so hot outside. I did not know that, Ed. All right. But anyway, it's we just this is what I do. This is what I like to do.
Sure.
But we also want to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed when we get the information out to. You wouldn't believe how many people we talk to before we even post something, just to know that somebody can't say that we're wrong about it.
Amen. That's
right. But we keep everybody informed. And if you really want to know what the weather was back in the 1800s, talk to Mike Mariner. He'll tell you it was a lot cooler and a lot hotter back then.
He loved it.
He does.
It was wetter and drier.
Yes, and he was both. He was wetter and drier. He's going to be he's our sponsor, by the way. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, he's our Depends sponsor, and I really want to thank him for that. Depends. It depends if he's going to wake up. It depends if he's not going to wake up.
Oh man, I thought you were going somewhere else.
No, I'll let it go. I was, but I'm not going to. All right, we're out of here. On behalf of myself, Jeff Michaels, and the lovely and talented Mitch Thames, thanks for watching Inside Texas with Mitch and Jeff, and we'll see you all next week.